He is an associate professor at UNC and the research director of the UNC Tax Center. He received his PhD in business administration from the University of Michigan and is the co-host of the podcast Tax Chats. He researches corporate taxes and has testified before Congress, advised the Congressional Budget Office, and worked on consulting projects with the IRS. Give it up for Jeff Hoops.
Hello, I am so excited to be here. I appreciate this opportunity to chat about who buys cryptocurrency and who should buy cryptocurrency. So from the introduction, you heard that I generally do corporate tax-related research, so you might wonder, what on earth do I have to do with cryptocurrency? Well, I actually have a research paper that looks into this first question. Basically, who is it in the United States that invests in cryptocurrency? So we do in this paper, in this research project, we use anonymous IRS data to actually examine this question. So there's a bunch of people who have done this before. You can ask people, you can do a survey and say do you invest in cryptocurrency? And you can look at different people who invest, and people have done that. The problem is it's really hard to get to very many people in a survey. And so it's hard to know for the whole population of the United States what's happening. Furthermore, with a survey, you only just get a snapshot in time. And so what we did is use tax returns from 2013 to 2020 to look at who is investing in cryptocurrency. And what we find is in the very beginning of the sample, it's basically people who live in New York and California. It's very young people. It's people who are much lower income than the average stock market investor. And it's people who work in tech and finance. And across the time period, you get kind of these dramatic changes in that the age creeps up. You get older and older people that are comfortable buying crypto. You get relatively higher income people that are comfortable buying crypto. You get people in the middle of the country that are comfortable buying crypto, such that by the end of the sample, the average crypto investor looks a lot more like the average stock market investor. And so that is who does invest in cryptocurrency. Now that's a positive question. That's just saying, what does the world exist? What is the world like? Describing the world. What I'd like to talk about now is who should buy cryptocurrency, which is a little bit trickier question. Okay? The question is, should you think about an investment in cryptocurrency like an investment in the stock market? So when we invest in the stock market, to invest is to purchase an asset with the expectation of future return. It's going to compensate you for bearing risk. It's going to compensate you for the value of your investment being eroded away by inflation. That's what we think about when we think about investing. There's some kind of underlying asset. So for example, if you buy a share of Walmart stock, you actually own a little tiny piece of all the Walmart buildings. You own a little tiny piece of all the inventory. When Walmart pays a dividend, you get that. There's a contract. You own a piece of the company. You are a corporate shareholder, and that's what it means to invest in a share of Walmart. When you invest in cryptocurrency, there's really no asset. There's no value added. You're not funding a machine that's going to build something that people are going to want to consume. You're not paying a scientist to develop some amazing idea that's going to increase future consumption for human beings. There's no fundamental value. There's not some future cash stream out there that people can know that they're going to receive and fund their retirement with, as there is in some other investments. There's no contract, right? So generally, in most investments, you think you have two parties that are going to have some contractual relationships with each other, and based on that contract, you have an agreement upon the investment. You don't really have a contract either. There's really not a whole lot there. So for example, if you invest in Bitcoin, you basically have the right to put your wallet ID somewhere on the blockchain in the hopes that in the future, somebody's going to want to buy that from you. For what reason, you don't really care or know, but you just hope they're going to buy it from you, and you hope they're going to give you valuable consideration for that asset, that crypto asset that you have. And so you might be thinking, well, you really sound kind of like a Debbie Downer. You're apparently not like a crypto bro up here. And so the question is, what is crypto if it's not an investment? Well, what I just explained, owning something just with the hopes of being able to trade it with something else, well, maybe crypto's a little bit more like money. Okay? Sounds a lot like money, actually. We just mutually agree something's worth something. It's not actually worth anything, but because we all agree upon it, we all pretend together that it is worth something, and it magically becomes something. The problem with that is crypto's not like money. So economics teaches us money has basically 4 different attributes. Money is a unit of account, a store of value, a medium of exchange, and a standard of deferred payment. And crypto kind of fails on a lot of those different things. So for example, cryptocurrency as a store of value is not a very good store of value to have something that you buy for zero, like say in 2011 or 12, basically zero, goes up to 70,000, comes down to 7,000, back up to 40,000. That's not storing value very well. A medium of exchange, there's not a lot of places you can walk into and buy things with Bitcoin. Might be able to buy a couple of things with Bitcoin, but not very many. Not very many assets are exchanged for Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. And when you do, you have to pay taxes. Like imagine if you literally went to Walmart and bought your package of Cheetos. When you handed them the $4, they said, oh, you're also going to have to report to this to the IRS at the same time. That just makes cryptocurrency, under the regulatory framework that we have right now, just not a very valuable piece of consideration. So you can't really think about it like money. Okay? So crypto is very different from the dollar. Very different from money because you don't have a government backing it. You can't pay your taxes with it. So you shouldn't really think about it as money. Okay, so it's not an investment like investing in the stock market. It's not money. But again, you're thinking, why are you so negative? Like, can't you just see anything positive? I have all these friends, they're like rich because they bought crypto. And indeed, in our research paper, we actually show there are like a considerable number of people that have made millions of dollars investing in crypto. Not only invested in crypto and made the millions of dollars, but reported it to the IRS and paid taxes on it. We show that in the paper. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good investment, right? You might have friends that won a lot of money in the lottery, or in the blackjack table, or betting on horses. So to me, the normative question, who should be investing in crypto, it's somebody who likes to gamble. You want to put your money into some asset that has no fundamental value, that's going to go up and down depending on winds of somebody who you don't know who is, and you hope to make money doing that. So it does have an advantage over gambling in that you can like talk with your friends and you can feel real cool while you do it. You gain the tech prestige of holding this asset. But in general, who should buy crypto? People who want to take risks with their money, like gamblers, and who want to have a lot of fun in doing so. So that's my take, my Debbie Downer take on cryptocurrency investing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There are questions over here. I don't want to neglect this side of the room. Questions for Jeff?
Given the history you've seen, what would you predict for the future, especially in terms of government regulation on crypto? What do things look like in the next 10 years?
Well, so what's fascinating about the government regulation is we talk about the government regulation as if it's one like government. There's one standard policy. Like the IRS thinks about crypto very differently than does the Commodities and Futures Exchange, then does the Treasury Department, then does the Securities and Exchange Commission. So one unifying kind of government framework to crypto we're probably not going to see. And what I personally see for crypto in the future, I guess, I'm not sure. I'm not real positive on it. It doesn't have any fundamental value, but in the end, as long as you have kind of new optimistic people willing to buy in it, it may stay alive forever.
We'll go right here.
Hello, I was wondering, what are the IRS reporting requirements for crypto, and does that differ from other assets like stocks and bonds?
Wow, I did not think I'd get a question that said, what are the IRS reporting requirements? That is amazing because as a tax professor, that's like what I do for a living. They only gave us 7 minutes. We could go for like 70 minutes on this. But the biggest thing right now is they're kind of in flux. Right? So despite Bitcoin having been around for well over a decade, we still don't have concrete reporting requirements. You have requirements that might be levied, may or may not be levied at the exchange level, at the actual taxpayer level. And so right now they're kind of in flux, and we're waiting to see where they actually do settle. Now it is the case if you have some interactions with Bitcoin or with other cryptocurrencies, you have to check on the front page of your 1040 that you've done so. That's the only asset on earth that you could hold domestically that you'd have to promise to the IRS that you reported to them that you told. So it's a special asset that's got some checkbox, but we're kind of in flux.
We have a question back here.
Hello, Jeff. Maybe a more speculative question for you, but what do you think's behind the latest surge in Bitcoin, back up over 50,000? Is there anything sound behind that?
Sorry, is there anything sound behind that?
Yeah, or is it just gambling?
So there's nothing, I think the summary of my whole 7-minute kind of little chat was there's nothing sound, period. And so there wasn't anything sound in the beginning, there's nothing sound now. So what drives up the price is that demand outstrips supply, right? There is a limited supply of this resource. They've designed this so this is the case. So people get excited about it, want to buy it, and that brings up the price. That also brought up the price momentarily. Beanie Babies and tulip bulbs and all sorts of other things. But that's why the price goes up. People want to buy it. Now, why they want to buy it? Because they didn't hear my talk. But we're gonna fix that one little chat at a time.
Okay, I know cryptocurrency is kind of like the new fad now. Do you see this as like a fad this will go away eventually, or it will phase out or die down because it really doesn't serve any purpose but a gamble?
Yeah, I don't necessarily see it as a fad. Again, I think where we're at right now could go on in perpetuity as long as you have new people coming in and putting money into this asset. I mean, I do think, to be clear, I think that like the blockchain technology is amazing, has a lot of use cases and could be very valuable. I do think we could change our regulatory framework and have digital coins that could be used by governments. There could be uses there. So what I'm talking about right now is just the current set of cryptocurrencies that we have. Not a lot of use cases for them yet, especially as adopted by the mass public, but I don't think it's a fad, especially putting things on the blockchain, including financial transactions, including ways of exchanging money aren't going away anytime soon.
Last question for Jeff.
Hi. Could you share some light on the differences between the digital currency and cryptocurrency, and which one is better? Let's say like China has digital currency, right? So is it better to go for a digital dollar, which has a value in it?
Sorry, one more, I didn't hear you very well, sorry.
Yeah, the difference between the digital currency versus cryptocurrency. So the crypto is like Bitcoin, whereas the digital currency can be still in dollar. So let's say if I want to pay you something, like I can just directly pay from my wallet to your wallet in dollars. So which has already a value. The digital currency is a speculative value. So which one is better, or do you think, how do we see this in future as digital currency or cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so to be clear, I think that there are ways that you could use the blockchain to transfer money from one person to another, and that those could be very valuable in the future. I just don't think they exist right now as should be adopted by the mass public, especially for investing purposes. And thank you very much.